Hey, what's going on? Ruben L back at it again. Another podcast, another vlog here with my boy Danny.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, man. Usually we weren't gonna do episode 2 until later on when the season was about to start, but you know the NBA, always drama, so we gotta get to it and we gotta talk about it. Carmelo Anthony, David Griffin. Danny, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
All right, man. Let's get it.
So what do you want to talk about first?
All right, man. First things first, man. What do you want to talk about? David Griffin?
Yeah, David Griffin. Let's do this.
What do you think about the whole situation, man?
Man, so like, as you guys, whoever doesn't know already, David Griffin, he was the general manager for the New Orleans Pelicans. He went on what was it? He was on ESPN the other day, I believe.
Yeah, he was on the Jump the other day.
You're right.
He had to clarify his words because he went. I think he wrote an article or
someone wrote an article about him.
Yes, and stating that he said working for the Cleveland Cavaliers was cancerous. He couldn't get nothing done. He wouldn't take the job anymore for any money in the world.
And he said a couple things that I know you didn't like about what he said about LeBron.
I mean, everybody knows I'm a big LeBron James fan, of course,
yep.
But I'm also biased. I also know that working with a guy like that, can be tough. He demands greatness, so.
I mean, LeBron is kind of a drama queen.
Yes, of course, of course, definitely.
It's either his way or the highway.
I'd rather have it his way. So,
yeah.
You know how
he knows
that
what
goes.
He's talking about.
He definitely knows what he's talking about, and he knows what he's doing. So, the article, rubbed people the wrong way because this guy comes out and he basically sounded ungrateful. Basically, to be honest with you, he wouldn't have that job he has now if it wasn't for LeBron James. For him to say
he won the championship with them.
He had a title, exactly. For him to say the type of words that he said, even though he said,
can you, tell the audience what he said.
Okay, so basically he said that working for the Cleveland Cavaliers because of the media and the drama that surrounded everything was basically something that he wouldn't wish on anybody. And he said that LeBron James, he doesn't have that same dog in him he had before winning the title in Cleveland. Like, he's basically just settling now, which, is complete crap. You can't really judge a man's greatness or his impact on the court, especially if you're not even playing, So it's like it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. He tried to clarify his statements, saying that the writer, misquoted him. But at the end of the day, it was too late. Nobody really believed him. And now he has this shit show around him, and he has to prove himself, man. Definitely, What's your thought on the whole situation?
I mean, there was a lot of things I felt like he said was true, especially working with a guy like LeBron James. It's tough, you have to meet these expectations, yes. And it's hard to meet, especially when you're working with a guy like LeBron James. It's always win now scenario every single time. Definitely.
And I get that totally. But at the same time, man, I just feel like it was something he didn't really need to say. If he wanted to talk about just the Pelicans, he should have just talked about the Pelicans. Why did you have to bring LeBron James' name into the whole mix?
Maybe it's because, he has the opportunity to now. He doesn't work for them anymore, so might as well just say how he feels, and that's fine. But there's certain things you don't say, especially what he said about LeBron James.
Yes,
I know that you didn't like what he said. There's a certain little thing.
I just feel like a lot of people, especially in the media, they use LeBron James' name just basically to get clout because they know it's gonna attract people to watch, to listen. So it's just like, what's the point of that? You would just your wife was just in an event of his with him about a week ago, and then for this article to come out,
didn't Griffin say that that certain other thing I was trying to mention that that he said that LeBron wasn't a hard worker, or he didn't want to. No,
he didn't say that he wasn't a hard worker. He just felt like he didn't have that same hunger,
that same
dog in him that he did before winning the title in Cleveland.
What do you feel about that?
That was bogus, man. Because there's no way in hell that you don't have that same hunger when you average, I believe it was 34, 9, and 9 throughout the whole playoffs the year after.
Right.
And then, you know, you average a triple-double in the finals, dude. Like, I don't understand what's this notion that LeBron James doesn't have the same hunger.
It's just hate, man.
Yeah, it's hate. That, and I a lot of people tend to forget that Kevin Durant joined the 72 Golden State Warriors winning team. That was one game.
73-9.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go. They were like, what, a minute or two away from winning an NBA championship.
And they lost.
And then they lost.
It's funny, too, because Kevin Durant, you know, when he was with the Thunder, they had it.
Yes.
You know,
blew the 3-1 lead.
3-1 lead.
To that same exact team. And then you go and you join them.
And then the Warriors blew their lead.
Yes.
And
it's just crazy. But the fact that, you know, he joined that team goes to show you that they basically had the NBA on lock for those 2 years. The only reason they didn't win it this year, the only reason they didn't win it this year was because, you know, Kevin Durant got hurt, Clay got hurt, and, you know, the wear and tear killed them, you know. But
I mean, I think it was from like the beginning of the season where they just weren't.
Yeah,
I thought they were like the Boston Celtics, you know,
they
just
got into
wishy-washy.
arguments, little naps here and there, and they just weren't feeling each other. And you know, it's fine. It is what it is. I'm just saying that was a great team that people forget about. That's to me, that's really the only reason why LeBron didn't win 2, maybe even 3 championships with Cleveland. That's really the only reason, because you cannot stop a team like Golden State. So you know, that just sucks that this guy went out and he said those type of things, and he clarified himself. He said there's no way he meant harm or anything, and he said that him and LeBron are still cool, which I doubt. You know, after LeBron heard that, you know, he tweeted, you know, enough people are playing with the throne, etc., etc. And yeah, I doubt they're still buddies, but it is what it is. You know, the thing with LeBron, you get a lot of heat and you get a lot of, you know, glory. So you got to take it both ways. And
I'm sure LeBron doesn't care anyways. Yeah, he really just ignores the media anyways and just does what he does on the basketball floor.
He definitely does. I just feel like it's,
on and off the court, especially.
I just feel like it sucks that people use his name to try to promote themselves. But it is what it is. David Griffin, you have to test yourself, man. You have this franchise now.
I mean, the Pelicans are on the come up now. Yeah, he definitely did a good job with them.
Exactly.
He got lucky getting that first pick. I mean, I should just say the Pelicans in general, getting Zion now. And they have a nice young core.
That was definitely
a team for the future.
That was definitely luck of them. You know, they got the #1 draft pick. Now they got all these young guys from LA. So hopefully it'll turn into something. You know, the thing I learned about this league is so hard to win here, but you have to prove yourself, man. You're in the spotlight now, and now, you know, it's up to you, man. You have to do what you got to do. Yep. Next up, and Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, let's do Carmelo.
Listen, your services are no longer needed. That was an ego hit. That was a pride hit. Like, I felt like I started questioning myself after that. Like, damn, can I still do this? What did I do? Like, I asked him that. What did I do? Oh, you didn't do anything. It's just not working out.
So are we saying that Carmelo Anthony reached a point in time at that particular moment where you were questioning whether or not you had the game any longer?
At that point in time, because that what made me feel like that. At that point in time, somebody in power that tells you we no longer need your services. I've been utilizing my services for a long time. Like, for you to tell me you don't need that no more, I honestly felt that I was fired. Like, I felt, you know, like other people go through that on a day-to-day basis. People get fired.
Wow.
I have a few things I want to say for that stuff. You want to start first, though?
No, you go ahead. You start it off, man. Carmelo's Carmelo. What's your take?
Well, Carmelo's my dude. You know, he's my favorite player. As of right now, he's not in the league, and I feel like it's not right. He hasn't been in the league for like almost a year now.
Definitely.
And I feel like one thing for sure is that he's getting blackballed by the media.
Yes, definitely. I agree with you 100% on that.
And he deserves to be on an NBA roster. Whether he's coming off the bench or starting, doesn't matter to me. He's better than almost half the guys in the league right now. And that's a freaking fact.
That's facts, man. I feel sorry for Carmelo, man. I was one of these guys that, you know, Carmelo, to me, he seemed like he was about the money, which is fine.
I think he's been about the money for most of his career.
Definitely, you know, and the luck of the draw, they didn't go his way, since he was just thinking about money instead of thinking about the future and everything that comes with being an NBA player, with being an NBA champion. Yeah. And he just didn't see it that way. And Now look, man, I definitely think he can still ball. I felt bad.
He still has like at least a couple good years left.
Definitely. I felt bad hearing the interview. Just
he had an interview with Stephen A. Smith the other day, which he requested,
yes.
and he's good friends with Stephen A. Smith. And for him to do that, to be on national TV
yes.
and doing this interview with Stephen A. Smith, I think he wanted to say his truth. Like what's been going on, especially with what happened with the Houston Rockets, Oklahoma City Thunder, and now this whole situation of him not being on an NBA team, which he definitely deserves one more chance to be on.
He definitely deserves one more chance. And it's sad that, nowadays you can't just like ignore something, because usually superstars, they just ignore this and go on their way. But the way the NBA is, the way media is, they literally make your own storyline, and they made this storyline on Carmelo that's just not fair, man. The guy can play, he can ball, but it's also the fact that what the media and also a lot of us know that he doesn't want to accept that bench role because he's not used to it. He's been a starter for most of his career. Yes. And
what he said in the interview with Stephen A. Smith, with the Thunder, when he got traded to them, they wanted to give him less minutes, and he wasn't okay with that, so then that didn't work out. So then when he went to the Houston Rockets, he thought he was going to be that guy, along with Harden and Chris Paul.
Yes.
But then when he realized they wanted him to come off the bench, that's when it really hit him that wow, he's not that guy anymore.
Yeah, I think his whole thing, as he was saying, is communication. Nobody communicated with him.
He didn't expect this at all, and it just happened out of the blue. He was getting ready for that next game, and then he got cut after 10 games.
Yeah, man.
It's a shame.
It's a shame. He definitely deserves to be in the league. Hopefully a team will pick him up. I would like for him to play with LeBron in LA, but he doesn't have that type of power to. I
think a good team would be perfect for him is Portland.
Yes.
I think they went to the conference finals, and whether he starts or comes off the bench for them, I think he'll help them. With his scoring ability, and he could still put up 15 points per game.
Definitely.
He definitely will make an impact no matter what.
Definitely. I'm cheering for Carmelo. Hopefully things work out for him, and the NBA needs to stop and just, somebody needs to pick up the phone and say, you know what? You cannot tell me that Carmelo Anthony isn't better than half the scrubs in the NBA, dude.
Not to take anything from Vince Carter, because I know he just signed with the Hawks yesterday. So
Vince Carter in 22nd year?
He's 43 years old, and he's going his 22nd year. I understand the Hawks reserved a spot for him or whatever.
He's not.
Let's be real here.
Anthony, let's be real. Just like you said, come on, guys. If you can sign Vince Carter in his 22nd year, you guys can sign Carmelo.
I get it. It's his last year, but Mel still has a good couple years left, and he deserves to be on a team, whether he comes off the bench or not. He needs one more chance to prove himself.
Facts.
That's all I got to really say. He said he was getting used to that role with Houston, and then they cut him, him coming off the bench, and
sucks.
He didn't get really a good chance to prove himself coming off the bench. But hopefully another team signs him, and we'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens, guys. Hopefully Carmelo Anthony's.
I just want to call him a playoff contender. That's all.
Facts, man. I think another team will pick him up for sure, man.
We'll see.
Let's hope and see. All right, Danny, one more thing I want to talk about, just a quick little snippet, is this guy, Jason Whitlock. I've been listening to this guy.
He's a reporter for that.
Yes, he's a reporter for Fox. I don't know if he covers the NBA. Probably still does. I'm not sure.
I know he used to.
Yeah, he used to work for ESPN, but now he's working with Fox. And he kind of reminds me of Skip Bayless with the whole making a career out of bashing LeBron. But, dude, I can come over here in my little platform and just bash you, but instead of bashing you, I'm just going to say you need to stop just talking about LeBron James in a negative light, man. You know how hard it is for people, of our skin color, to just make it in life in general. And this guy, he provides school for our youth. He provided jobs for his neighborhood, for his city, for all these cities.
Can you explain what Jason said?
He said, because of the whole controversy with his son, with him, dunking in his son's games, but he basically said LeBron needs to sit his ass down and just relax because he wants to be more famous. First of all, LeBron doesn't need to be more famous. You know that. He's not looking for more fame. He's probably one of the...
He's one of the most... Not just athletes, public figures easily.
In general, you know what I'm saying? The top, I think maybe Ronaldo or you know, one of those soccer players is probably more popular than him, but he's the most popular athlete in the world. So he doesn't need any more limelight. So for him to sit there and just say that LeBron James is looking for more limelight, more fame, just because he's dunking on his son's, you know, basketball games, dude, he didn't have a father growing up. So he's just hyped, and he's just, you know, yeah, if you have a problem, oh, he's taking the shine away from his son. And no, he's not, dude. That's his son. He wants to be there for his son, you know, his basketball games. He's there. I wasn't raised with a father. Like, my mom raised me. Hundreds of guys, you know, in our culture, I'm sure weren't raised with a father. For a guy like him to be the role model that he is, and for you to keep constantly taking shot after shot at LeBron, because it wasn't just this, you know, it was the fact that when a racist wrote the word nigger in his house, he criticized him for that. Oh, what, just because you have money, you think you're gonna get away from the hood? You're not. He criticized him for leaving Cleveland. He just, for everything in general. So for him to just criticize him and try to get fame and spotlight, because I think that's what he's doing. He's just getting fame out of LeBron just because he's mentioning his name. Just stop it, dude. Just stop it. You are who you are, and he is who he is. I'm not sitting here telling you to glorify the man, but you have to be a positive role model, and especially for the black youth, the black culture, because you bashing him as a black man makes you look really bad, dude. So just stop it. I'm glad he has co-workers that just put him in his place, because someone has to say something, and I'm glad that they did. But yes, I'm in my little platform, and I'm talking about it, and I'm talking about you. Stop with this nonsense, Jason. You're really bad, and you're making a bad name for yourself. But yeah, man, that's all I gotta say, Danny. Anything else you got?
That's about it, man. I think we covered everything that's been going on lately in the news with the NBA. So,
that's cool, man. Hopefully we get to do another one coming up. The NBA season comes closer.
Yep, preseason definitely gonna start soon.
Yes. Oh, one more thing. What do you think of the USA team thing now?
With
basically like the young guys, and nobody wants to play for Team USA, man.
Yeah, no, I think it comes down to health. I feel like you know, they want to make sure they're ready for the NBA
season.
You know,
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I can't wait, man.
All right, guys, that's all I got. Don't forget to subscribe. I hope you guys enjoyed. Any comments, let us know. And I'm done, man. Later.